Alright, so this tutorial is going to be on cloning. Cloning is probably one of the tools that I use the absolute most. I absolutely love it. It's amazing once you get the hang of it. It can be frustrating, but once you get the hang of it, it is so amazing to work with. So let's go. We've got a picture here. Obviously, this is picture straight out of camera, a little underexposed. I'm really not too concerned about that right now. We're just going to work on the cloning. I recommend always doing your cloning before you do any editing. It kind of just helps to give it a little bit of a uniform look. So let's go over to our clone stamp on the left-hand side. You see it right here. We've got clone stamp tool. This bar along the top where the mouse is moving is going to give you everything you need to do to control the actual stamp. We've got the sizes that we want. We have the mode. I always leave the clone stamp in normal. The opacity that we want to have in the flow. You may, dependent on what kind of section of your image that you're trying to clone, you may want to change and just play with the flow. The flow is going to give it obviously a little bit more smoothness or hardness. I always leave it 100% when I'm doing bricks. Bricks is an amazing one, but a very hard one to work with because you need to line it up and make it look real good. I didn't want to throw that at you guys at the first chance. So what we're going to do is we're going to work with this grass down here. I have a decent sized brush tool. As you can see, I just did round. I didn't do the round hard tool. Round hard tool is always going to, I'm going to show you actually, it's going to make it look fake, okay? So we want to undo that. What we want to do is we want to kind of have a little softness. See, the hardness is at 0, and just kind of play with the size that you think you're going to use. What I'm trying to do in this image is I'm trying to get rid of this sandy gravel part. I don't like it. I think it detracts from the subjects. So I'm just going to kind of play and see. Alright. So when you're going to clone, the most important thing for you to do is to set your hardness at 0. Unless you know absolutely for certain that you want that hard clone look, let's start with 0 and you can move your way up. And another thing that you're going to learn as we go through tutorials, I always want you to work on another layer. So the first thing, let's go ahead and throw this in here. Layer, new, layer, duplicate layer. Sorry, not just a new layer, but we want a duplicate layer. If we do a new layer, it's going to be a blank, transparent layer on top of our picture. Well, we can't sample and clone from something that's not there. So make sure that when you go to do this, do layer, duplicate layer. Alright, so look, you see in your right hand bottom, we've got our different layers. Bottom, this is the next one up, and this is where we are. Alright, so from here we are going to sample. I'm going to press the Option button on Mac or the Alt button on Windows. Okay, so you press Option, and you see that kind of gets this little target. It's in the bottom left-hand corner of the picture if you can't see it. Kind of move it around a little bit. It gives you this target. This is where you're going to sample of what you're wanting to pull. It's kind of like when you take your paintbrush. You're going to sample into the green cup of paint because you want to paint that on your canvas. And that's exactly what we're doing here. So for me with Windows, I'm going to press the Option. I'm going to sample it. Now let go of both and just kind of move it over with your mouse. You see how it's showing me that I have grass? So let's click it. Oh, look, it gave me grass. It didn't give me enough, so I can hold it down, and I can paint like that. Now you see in the left-hand corner down here, I have this hard edge. Well, you want to know why? When I sampled it right here, and then I moved this direction, I started further over and went this way. So if I sample from here, I could only get to about here. There's nothing else to sample. So you're going to get this hard edge. Really not a big deal. It kind of gets to that when you are doing really intricate cloning work. But for now, let's just resample and paint over it. So always watch those hard lines because then you'll be able to notice. Well, of course, you could always crop out, but you don't want to lose the integrity of the picture you took. So again, sample and paint. Oop. It really is that simple. This is a little bit easier one to work with. Let me get all this. See? I did it again. Alright, so when I get under here, I want to maintain the integrity of the shadows. So I don't want to pull from over here. Well, that would look stupid. So I want to sample some of the darkness. You want to kind of watch your lighting. Oops, I have some white over there. Step back. Watch your lighting. I guess I should show you what I just did. Okay? Go to Edit and Step Back. Or you can do Edit, Undo. I'm just going to pull. Oop, that doesn't look good. And the shortcut that I'm using is Command Z on Mac. On Windows, it's Control Z. Okay. Now you see here, that's pretty okay. Let's get this edge. Oops. This is, I mean, when it comes to grass, you don't really have to be that technical. That looks decent. However, you see I have all these little green spots. I could leave it. Client's probably not going to notice. Another photographer might not notice, but I noticed, probably because I know I cloned it. So let's just try to get rid of these dark spots a little bit. See, looks a little bit more natural to me. We've got it. That's our cloning. And the great thing about it is, if we absolutely hate it, turn it off. See, you turn off your layer with the eye. You have it again. And you can always go down here and delete. And that is cloning.